Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. I'm your host, VGMKoren, and like always, we're almost dead. Now hopefully we'll find water soon, because everyone hates the Legend of Zelda beeping noises. Though that was water. I was about to walk right past that while I talked about how much I didn't like beeping noises when you were at low HP. But yeah, I don't care for beeping noises. They're nice the first time, but I think everyone's been at least a little bit traumatized by Legend of Zelda titles in the past, where, that's a lot of spikes, and that's a rope. Legend of Zelda titles in the past where your goal has been mostly to stay out of that low HP range because the beeping is just frustrating. Alright, so what we have here is definitely a jumping puzzle that's going to kill me like a billion times. Alright, so the switch on the far side lowers the gate, and the switch on this side does that. I'm not sure what that is, per se. I'm pretty sure that you have to wall jump, like so. Now, I want to see what that actually did. Oh, it's not going to show me. Let's take a second to look. Huh. What does that do? Well, whatever it does can't be that important, maybe. Oops. We are just doing it wrong right now. That's okay. So, as you watch me just swing back and forth in this room repeatedly, forever. Oh, well, now we see it, don't we? That switch is to raise the gate on the other side. Now, this shouldn't actually be too tricky because you do end up turned around when you jump back onto the rope. Here we have a little sand. And we're off to find something to fight or kill. So, it seems that white switches may last forever. Alternatively, it's just there to show us a new switch type. Also, another timed puzzle gauntlet. So, like usual, I will show you my first attempt to actually get there, and then when I fail, I will magically spawn over in that area. Magically. Oh no. As we all know, I have to run across this wall, and that means I have to avoid that saw blade. You know what? Hey look everyone, we got impaled when we avoided the saw blade because it was totally the next time we tried it. Well, that's a good way to do that. I think I actually won't have to reset this puzzle.
Is that you?
Here I am.
And now the prince gets to say, "Here I am." That is new. And these guys. I don't know what to say about these guys. But I would much rather fight the harem instead of whatever that guy is. I mean, maybe he is part of a harem, just not a harem for me or my taste. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Oh no, now I've got to be politically correct for everyone. No, really, there's nothing wrong with that. And now the politics are correct, or something. You know, whenever I talk, I end up in combat, I end up making a fool of myself because I don't even think about what I'm trying to say. It's just blah 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 words coming out of my mouth and then getting hit, and you know, he friendly fires all over his incubus or succubus or sand harem. Friendly fires all over her. And me. I don't want to be in this friendly fire. Now, I think that low-res texture, yeah, that indicates that it's water down there. I couldn't quite tell. Hello, camera angles. That cloth is quite interesting. That is definitely a sign of, more than anything else, of early 3D game, is when your camera occasionally just goes away. For anyone who hasn't played games like back on the PlayStation 2, GameCube, games like that, and if you haven't, you really should. A lot of 3D games there fell victim to bad camera angles because, well, it was still relatively new technology, and it's still kind of an issue today, but not so much of one. But that's just a matter of designing in new formats and not having everyone already talented on that, because the only generation to do that before was the Nintendo 64 or PlayStation era, but they didn't have the most 3D games. Like, there was Super Mario 64, but even that game had camera problems. Is it sacrilege to say anything bad about Mario 64? I mean, I loved the game. It's one of the few games I actually 100%ed. Not that getting 100% in that game was particularly difficult, but I did it. That was when I was a kid. I remember it because it was actually a feat for me to do that in the small town that I grew up in. I had people coming up and asking, "Can you get 120 stars on my file?" I usually said no, because after doing it once, well, I just didn't really want to do it again. But it was a great feeling of acceptance for that, you know, one moment. And we're dying again. No, I don't want to die to a spinny harem girl who's pretty, but also very much dead. There's more of that friendly fire I'm talking about. Enemies will hit each other very often. A trend I'm curious to see if continues in the rest of the series. The only other Prince of Persia game I've played was the 2008 reboot, which was a very brief encounter with that game. A very, very brief encounter. So we already have our next save point. And Farah has once again just gone off somewhere else. So we run through cloth and explode walls with a sword and jump and run and all our usual activities. Followed by combat, which will probably get me almost killed. And then Farah.
Done. I'll stop next time.
Alright, a brief cut later to set my timer accurately, because I kind of forgot a little bit. We already see the little cloth that we're supposed to run through. Whee! Oh, that wasn't the cloth. Well, that just makes me look silly. It's gotta be one of these. It's gotta be this one.
Where are you? Sarah! Stay there! I'll come to you! Can you hear me?
I'm in here.
Alright, so they're shouting at each other, but that's okay, and there's a lot of architecture of naked women around, which is just the best thing to have. Like, I don't know if you can see it on the video, but there are actually just tons of girls all over that cloth, just standing and dancing and all of that stuff. And I opened a gate somewhere. Not sure where. Should have been paying attention, but I wasn't. It's probably back over here.
Sarah!
There she is. Here I am. But no. She decides instead to leave. Now, I believe, maybe, that I'm gonna find that door somewhere. Found it! Maybe. Oh. Let's not kill ourselves by throwing ourselves into an abyss. We have been surprisingly light on the death today. I mean, aside from all the dying I did earlier. I have a feeling that this was a secret. Oh wait, no.
Help me!
And she's whining and getting hit, and then
I'm coming!
her health bar disappears. Oh, there she is.
What took you so long?
Oh, are you waiting long?
Well, it hasn't been 5 seconds and she's already complaining at us again. Don't you miss when we were all on our own and we were just talking about how much we missed her? Those were good times. Now she's probably going to shoot us again. Oh well, at least if she shoots us, that was a strange glitch, cutscene. At least if she kills us, it'll be with her heart. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. If Farrah could stab enemies, she would be a lot more useful. But she can't. But then again, she doesn't have the dagger because she didn't take it. Now, we've been seeing her in a bunch of old cutscenes, so I have to wonder if what that's been doing is showing us what she's been doing, kind of, while we run around. And yes, I do have full powers, but we're already like halfway through this fight, and who am I kidding? This remains my favorite power in the game. It's just kind of fun, actually. I hear new enemies, but my camera is stuck. That's okay. Well, it turns out there were more than enough enemies to use that ability on. Now, interestingly, the more sand tanks we get, the more expensive that it is to use that ability. When we first got it, we only had, what, 4 sand tanks? So we could fill that up very quickly, but now we have 6, which adds basically 4 enemies to the total that we need to kill before we can use our ultimate sand power again. So, is it still worth it? Yes. Yes, it is. This isn't even a debate, really. It just saves you tons of time. You know, I've been meaning to check and see if you can do the backflip over the harem girls and the backflip stab, by the way, and those guys. Whatever those guys do. They'd probably do whatever you want. I mean, just look at him. He's got chains, he's got the perfect bondage gear, probably has zippers where you don't want him to have zippers. Oh, this girl. And save point. Auto save point, in fact. And it had dramatic music going into it. Oh no, it's a light puzzle. Everything's doomed. Everything is doomed. Like most people, my first light puzzle was in Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I want to call it Ocarina, but I don't believe that.
My love, please don't leave me.
What did you call me?
It doesn't matter. The important thing is, I know how we can reach the Tower of Dawn.
Of course, the hourglass. All right. But this time, stay with me and pay attention. Can't spend all day chasing after you.
Well, apparently she loves us. So there's that. When did that happen? That's okay. We've got a statue here, and I remember we had to move a statue earlier, so let's just move it. Let's just do that.
Oh, what are you waiting for?
I'm afraid. What if I get into trouble and you have to come chasing after me?
Please.
Do you mean to say you actually need my help?
Yes.
Oh well, in that case.
Farrah, The only reason we need your help is... I don't know. I don't know what to say to you. On the, on the bright side, she does open doors for us.
I'm afraid. What if I get into trouble?
Oh, Prince, stop mocking her. She loves you, and you loved her before she mocked you. Oh no, there are birds screaming in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. I know that once everything is recorded... Turn, you thing. Once everything is recorded, some of the sounds quiet out like voices, but...
Sure I'm not slowing you down?
Alright, alright.
Oh my.
The Hall of Learning.
The Hall of Learning. Are you ready to
We must
learn?
have come out the wrong side of the baths. We'll need to go back through the royal palace.
Alright then. Let's find the way out.
Well, why don't we just go back through the right way through the baths? That seems like the most reasonable and logical thing to me. Oh no, it's a light puzzle. I am terrified of what this means for you and me. Well, more what it means for you. It means a lot of... Where does this go? As I was saying, my first encounter with light puzzles were in Legend of Zelda or Ocarina of Time. I can't say that word right. It's just not even worth it. In the Spirit Temple... Spirit Temple? Yes. Where you got the mirror shield. Those were fun puzzles. And, you know, it was a great temple after getting your 10 or 12-year-old pants scared off by the Shadow Temple. Seriously, is that... As a kid, playing that at midnight was terrifying. It was just the worst thing. And, of course, you had to do that every night. Oh no, it's this dance! No, I failed it. Also, in case you hadn't noticed, new combat tune. I like this one a lot, actually. Maybe I should turn off the music so you can hear it over my voice. Red guys can go straight into your dagger. Blue guys can smack you. A lot. But it's mostly because I'm bad at smacking them. I mean, we're all smacking each other here. I need to get an old gamepad. I have a 360 gamepad, but it doesn't work with Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, and most old games that were around the PS2 era. On the other hand, playing with a keyboard isn't so bad. I would prefer to play, I think, with a... Stop blocking. Stop it. Stop it! There we go. I wonder how loud that's going to turn out. And everyone's just going to be like, oh, you broke my ears, I hate you with all my hate. And I'll be like, I'm so sorry you hate me with all of your hate. Is there anything I can do? And they'll be like, no, I hate you. And I'll be like, oh. I'm getting stranger as this LP goes on, and I apologize. But not really. There is water over there, so don't worry. You won't have to listen to beep, 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 you dying dumbass, beep, for very long after this fight. That is what that sound is. It's the, hey dumbass, you're dying sound.
Help!
Oh, Farah, you have way more life than me at this point. Like, just tank him for a minute there. Thank you. So, I also know there's a way to slow time in combat. Have I gone over this? I feel like I've gone over this. I'm not saying it. Is that everyone? No. No, it's not. Wave-based combat is so fun. Actually, wave-based combat is the bread and butter of a lot of the action games. It's just that most of the combat is more complicated. But I am developing a certain affection for this game's combat the more it goes on. It's not exactly what I would call complicated, but I no longer suck at it quite so badly, no matter what that little blue blip of HP I have left might have you believe. Alright. Is that it? Okay. That was a lot of enemies. Impressively. An impressive amount of enemies, really. But, now it's over. There was a save point somewhere around here, so let's see if we can't find it. I know I'm bad at finding things, but... Okay. What are we looking for? A save point. There it is. And you know what that means. We've been running around for a good 20 minutes here or so. So, I think we will watch the prince do a backflip and jump everywhere. And I don't see any Farah, which can't be good. And the light puzzle, which will get us killed. And that light puzzle looks like it's going to be forever. It probably won't be.
Done.
But
I'll stop
just
the
for
build
safety's
here
sake,
next time.
in case we spend the next hour, I spend the next hour or so trying to figure it out, we'll cut this here, and I'll see you in the next one.